Hello guys and welcome to Supreme Ruler 2030. Today I wanted to tell you guys about a feature that's come up a little bit in previous videos and especially in the live stream that I did of the beta of the game here. That feature is, as I refer to it anyway, the world market for units. In prior Supreme Ruler games we've had our world market for every single resource, but now we have one for units. If you just come down to the defense department, specifically the production, oh, they named this the command department now. This used to just be like two halves of the same thing. It's different now. So defense department, the production screen for those of us that have played Supreme Ruler Ultimate, and if you go to where you produce things, there will be a little button here. It's actually very hidden. I forgot where it was and I spent a good 15 minutes looking for it while I was getting ready for this video. So you click right here where it says purchase unit from world market, and we can see a little screen here that's just called world market, and we can see every single unit I believe that's in our reserves. I don't imagine this includes deployed ones, that would be weird. And on the other side we have every single unit that is available for purchase. Available, or apparently. Alright, we got a little typo there. Remember, it's beta. Basically, this works kind of similarly to if you were just trading units directly, except for the fact that you don't ever need to negotiate for price. The price is predetermined. So for example, let's say I want some more infantry. So I come in here and I find, oh, here we go, some N113 APCs. I want these. So I put them all in here one by one. It is only one by one, unfortunately. And it'll show me the cost of the purchase. It can also show me the profit from the purchase if I am throwing in like a sale. And I can do both at the same time. So I can see profits from sale when it goes above 0. So now, rather than needing to go and get mutual defense with other countries in order to trade with them in a more personal basis, you can trade based on the values assigned to everything, units with the entire world, coming a little bit closer to the realism of actually just ordering units from another country. If you have units, you can put them up for sale, and then the world market will sell them. Nobody needs to buy them. For example, I have 3 billion worth of profit here. If I go ahead and trade it, and then I just speed up, you'll see the money immediately appears in my account. Nobody actually needs to purchase anything for me to get a profit. I'm trading with the world market. I'm not trading with anybody through the world market. It's not like a market where I go to sell things. It's a market that I sell things directly to. Now, unfortunately, in its current form, it doesn't support the, very standard thing of just clicking a unit and then like shift click, and then you just select a selection and you add them all in at once. No, let's say I want to throw in all these M113s, well, it could be a little bit of a process because we have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just keeps going. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, shift click selecting seems to be non-standard in Supreme Ruler. So there's no easier way to do this in that terms. However, there is a series of buttons that you can press to at least make this process simpler if you're trying to vacate an entire type of unit. So for example, if I go over here to the command department, as they call it now, and let's say I want to select all my Marines. There's not a lot of Marines, but we'll use it as an example because it's the first thing here. So I will just simply go, I'll click one here, and then over here is the select all button. It's select all of what I have selected. So I can just select all Marines, there you go, and then I can give them an order. After I've selected all of them, I proceed over here to the add selection to selected units screen, and the unit orders pop up. Then I just scroll down here and I hit sell unit, and then all of these Marines will be sold to the world market instantaneously if they're already in reserves. If they're not in reserves, they'll make their way to the nearest barracks and then be sold instantaneously. This is the same way it works for scrapping units if you want to get any military goods back, but this time you're just doing it for money. Back to the world market, and unfortunately, there's no way to do this for units that you actually want to purchase. And now I find this really, really weird because, for example, there is an indicator here to tell you how much of a single exact unit type there is to purchase on the world market. There are 3 mobile radar units on the world market. I can count them. 1, 2, 3. I can count to this many, but in case I couldn't, the game did it for me right here. Units available to purchase of that exact type. And I find this so strange that they even bother telling me that, because you'd think with some kind of functionality like this, there would also be a functionality to just select all of them, or at the very least, don't line them up in front of me. Because that's one thing that we can see can get a little overwhelming on this side. All of these are M11A3s. Oh, funny enough, it doesn't say how many I have to sell over here, and when I put one in, it tells me I have 0 units in my inventory. That's probably just beta bugs. Well, that part's a beta bug. Not telling me how much is in my inventory on this side is probably more of a design choice. I think it's a design choice that should be changed, personally. Because, oh, let's say I had 50 bajillion of this unit. Great. Well, I still have to see 50 bajillion of them and scroll down and up them. And as you can see, this could take a while when you really do have 50 bajillion of them. I'm still scrolling, and this doesn't come anywhere near 50 bajillion. And if I want to add them in on either side, especially from buying, it's 1, 2, 3, until I get to 50 bajillion. I have my handy dandy little scroll wheel in case I want to just skip past them, but at the same time, I feel like it would just make so much more sense to show me one singular of these units, one singular of these helicopters, one singular of this anti-tank, tell me how many there are, and let me click this button and add them in. Better yet, let me actually add in multiples, maybe even if it's just like shift click to add 10, but it can't work like that so long as each one is displayed separately. Personally, I think this should be changed, but that's what we're doing right now. We're showing off new features, showing off how they're implemented, and showing off what I think they should change to. Well, I ask you guys if you think any of these changes I suggest make sense, if you guys have any other ideas for the feature. The final thing to tackle about this is the stock of the world market itself. Right now, the stock isn't very large. I just started up the game. I let a little bit of time go by, run in the background. Some war started in the background, of which I got no alerts for. As you can see, region falls. I think that's a new bug. I don't really know. But World War something started. India and China are fighting each other, so this could be a little bit barren because they both need units. But I've seen these numbers pump way up during my live stream that I did of the game. You can see dozens, if not hundreds, of some unit types, especially artillery, piling up in the world market. So it's like, okay, is there going to be too little stock? No, I don't think there's ever really going to be too little stock. I think the AI are going to do a great job about keeping this stocked up if the players aren't already doing that. And then the question is, well, what if there's too much stock, especially since it displays every single M119 and etc. as its own individual thing? I don't want to be scrolling around looking for units that I want, and there is no Control F feature, and realistically, there probably will never be a Control F feature to just find what you're looking for. Due to how poorly organized it is, can you imagine if there was several hundred of just the same units while you're trying to look for a rarer, higher quality unit? What happens if someone floods the market with a bajillion BMPs that nobody wants? Well, there is actually a solution for that. Since the stock is in the world market, and to some extent, the world market actually acts as its own independent nation. Sometimes you can see this in SRU, being able to select it on your state tab or diplomacy tab, territory like in the ocean usually, that belongs to the world market. Usually this is probably unintentional, but thanks to this you can see the world market kind of functions as its own nation. And the same thing goes here. So what happens, according to what the devs have explained, is that let's say a bajillion of something piles up and nobody wants to buy whatever this is. It just sits there and rots. Well, the world market is going to see that and it's going to start scrapping them for military goods. The small amount of military goods that you would have gotten back if you just scrapped it yourself. Thing is, the world market actually paid you for this unit to try to sell it and then just scrapped it because nobody wanted it. The world market will then take those military goods and sell them on the actual world market for military goods, thus adding to the supply of military goods in the world, while also sort of like spawning money out of thin air. At least it's kind of spawning money out of thin air, assuming that the units are never purchased by anyone because it paid for them, but it never sold them, so that money just poofed into existence. So we get inflation, not really, because this game doesn't simulate that quite in that way, and we get military goods in the economy. Personally, I think this new feature is great. Again, it is not what I hoped for. I was hoping you'd be able to just request to purchase units that would then be put into production like in real life. Like I, as Mexico, go to America, and I want to purchase, what the hell can America build? tank, you know, M1 Abrams, for example. I want to purchase M1 Abrams from America. So I go to them, I make a trade deal, purchase 10 M1 Abrams. They put them into their production line, and then that gets sent to me when it's done. That's what I was hoping for. But in its place, this isn't so bad for getting rid of already purchased stocks and just kind of managing resources a little bit easier and a little bit better, allowing you to get things out of finished goods that you wouldn't otherwise have been able to get, such as money or value for someone else in the world. Depending on their financial reserves, this allows some other countries like, and this is just a random example for no particular reason, Ukraine, for example. Let's say Ukraine ever found itself in a war. I don't think it will, but if Ukraine had money, they could just go to the world market, find a bunch of like Cobras, Leopards, light infantry, BMPs, you name it, depending on their money, just go ahead and buy those. And it really does depend on your money. The pricing can be quite brutal if you haven't noticed. 34 million for a BMP-1, okay, that's already kind of high. So you will need reserves in the billions to really be able to put together mechanized armies like this. If you look, you can see that the price scaling between a light infantry at 12 million to a BMP-1 at 34 million to whatever the fuck this is at 155 million to martyrs at 247 all the way to 274 for the M113s that I have. And this doesn't even begin to look at tanks, which can go for closer to $1 billion a pop. So it really does matter what you can afford, but either way, there will always be nations overproducing across different tech levels and putting things on the market. And even bigger countries with higher tech levels can go out of their way to produce certain units of certain types to try to saturate the market at all price levels to make sure that there's something that every nation can buy. This adds a lot to the multiplayer and single player dynamics of what it's like to interact with other countries and produce units and profit off of them and take military and push it somewhere that you can use it as an actual economic arm of your nation's infrastructure. I thought this was a pretty notable big feature with a lot of things surrounding it, and I wanted to talk about it, show it off, and get my thoughts off my chest about it. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have any thoughts, leave them in the comments below. If you want to see more videos like this, check the description where I have a playlist showing every 2030 coverage video that I have done. There's more to come, but we're getting very, very close to the game's release date, so the beta coverage is soon to be out of time. So this is the time to let me know if you have anything you want to see me cover before the game releases. Make sure to let me know in the comments below. My coverage of the game may still continue after the release, talking about maybe some updates that happen to the game post-release and talking about some features, things like that. We'll figure it out. That's it for today though, so thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.